we'll call the meeting to order and start the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Okay, Jones.
Here.
Brenneman.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Bone.
Here.
Musliger.
Here.
Johnson. Here. And Jazz.
Yes.
All right, do we have any additions or an approval of the agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right, do we have any motions on the meeting minutes from the December 5th meeting?
Make a motion to approve minutes?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right. The bills due for payment are in the packet. Any motions on them?
Quick question on the obviously with the merry-go-round, I'm sure I always look at what's the most expensive out of these bills, right? When we shop for playground equipment, is there other vendor, is it just one vendor, or is there?
No, we went through numerous ones.
Yeah.
It took us about 2 months to finally get somebody tracked down that because one of them that we were dealing with wanted money up front, and we said there's no way we're doing that, so we did a lot of research on it to find.
Gotcha.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep,
Okay.
We get an off-season special on that filter for the baby pool.
that I couldn't tell you.
I was just wondering why we're buying one of those in November, but I mean, it doesn't matter if we need it, we need it.
There was budget money left, and instead of having it out of next year's budget.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, let's get a motion in a second, and then we can discuss further if need be.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any other discussion? I only have one. Do you have in your report, Teresa, to talk a little bit about the tech deal?
Yes, or
Okay.
IT services.
Okay.
Yep.
And City of Sioux Falls mosquito control, what do we,
Yeah, so every year we have them actually do the mosquito counts and that's part of that grant money that we get.
okay,
So when we apply for the grant, we have them do that, and that helps
Oh, I
us
see.
get the grant, so we actually get pretty good grant money going through that.
okay. But we pay, the city of Sioux Falls does our,
Yeah, they do all this trapping, then they identify which mosquitoes they are, and they do a count on them to tell you if there's a West Nile chance or anything like that, so.
Right.
I've got a quick question, like when you were testing my neighbor's water, when you had to,
Oh, yep,
so let's just say if you did find, you're testing for lead, right?
so that was, that's a lead and copper test. We have to do 20 homes every 3 years. If whatever the results are, we send it to them too, so they know, and then they get a letter saying what the limits are and stuff like that. We've always been below the limits.
What happens if we're high then? Is that up to the homeowner to change out their pipes, or?
You'd want to try to identify where it's actually coming from first. We've only got 11 homes in town that have lead service lines
Okay.
yet from the third part of it, or northern service line. But yeah, we've always been really low with everything. We've actually, they first started back in the 90s with it, we were doing a lot more sampling. Twice a year we're doing 20 samples, then they cut us back. Until 3 years ago, we were down to 10 sites, but then our population got high enough, so now we had to go back to 20 sites.
Okay, thank you.
all right, any other discussion or comments on the bills? If not, we'll vote. Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right, I don't see, Tyler's is on the thing, so we don't have anybody from the public, so we'll move to visitors. Tyler Tornson with SMGA is here to address the council and talk a little bit about SMGA. Tyler.
Hey, well, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Tyler Tortson, President CEO, Symmetric Growth Alliance. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys tonight. I'm just shy of 2 months on the job, although it feels like 6 months. It's been a lot. Been hitting the ground running. I was in this room probably within my first couple of days, talking to the HADF and their members too, so I appreciated that. just quick background on me, I was born in Sioux Falls, grew up in Rapid, system often travel member from northeastern South Dakota, USD grad, lived in Winter Pier for a little bit, been back in Sioux Falls for a while, married, got 2 little kids. So, invested into our state and our region. I come into this position after spending the last 8.5 years with the office of U.S. Senator Mike Rounds. I recently served as his Southeast Regional Director, managing our team out of Sioux Falls in this corner of the state. And so I'm really excited to kind of jump into this role. I was really excited about, I've watched SMGA and even from its Lakita Makita days, which you guys are probably familiar with that entity too, and your guys' history as a community from that. So really just excited to see kind of the conversations around regionalization, the conversations around just the value that all of our communities in the Sioux Metro Growth Region, the Sioux Falls MSA, this part of the state bring. The unique identities and the unique growth and all the stuff that you guys have going on. Again, just being around here, I'm pretty keenly familiar with the stuff that you guys got going on, a lot of the projects that are underway, and then a lot of the projects that have yet to come. And so being able to, in this role, serve as a kind of a value-added organization and another tool in the toolbox for you guys on the city side, Amy, and kind of her role, and being able to just help connect dots and be a resource partner. Some of the storytelling aspects that we can do as an organization. I put out before the meeting started for you guys, just a little bit of our background of kind of what do you get with membership, and then also our Growing Places magazine, a quarterly magazine that again ties into some of our storytelling piece. So with that storytelling piece too, we can really do a lot to promote the region, to promote communities, to promote some of your small businesses, some of the growth aspects. Some people look at community development, economic development separately. I like to blend the two because I think it's all kind of interrelated, right? I mean, if we're talking about trying to retain our families here or recruit new families to our communities, those quality of life amenities play a factor as well. Not just housing, not just infrastructure, some of the industrial growth, all of the above, in my opinion. So, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to hit with you guys. Like I said, it's been a lot. I'm actively hiring some additional staff to help bring an SMGA team approach. Historically, for our 32-ish year history, it was a one-person operation up until about 2 years ago. They grew up at its peak a couple months back. We were a staff of 5. We've had some transitions of people going on to kind of exciting new roles. And so with my transition into this role, I get the exciting aspect of retaining some staff and then also getting to hire some new staff too. So what I've done is, and you can see this job description publicly, I'd be happy to share in your follow-up information with you guys too, but making sure that we have an emphasis on our economic development specialty. Again, being able to help your communities as needed respond. Again, being that value add to Amy, whenever there's RFIs that make sense for you guys to go after when the Governor's Office of Economic Development. Being able to wear my federal hat that I had my federal experience to make sure that we're not leaving dollars out there on the table if there's grants or funding opportunities for certain projects. And then also, so the economic development specialty side, but then the member relations side too. Just making sure that I don't want this to be the one and only time you see me come here and say hi. I want to be, I've been doing kind of an outreach tour. I was in Brandon last night, I was in T last night, I'm in Garrison tomorrow, I've been in Humboldt, Crooks, Centerville, I'm losing track, but I've been doing my outreach tour, trying to check in proactively, and I want myself and our SMGA team to do that regularly. I think that piece has been a little bit more on the back burner, that needs to be on the front burner always, kind of keeping to our core mission of just getting to know our regional communities in and out. There's a lot of annual events that we do that I'll hit on quick. We do a monthly mayor's roundtable, which Mayor Jones is great at attending and speaking up on your guys' behalf, and razzing some of the other communities too, which we appreciate. We also do our annual meeting in March. We do our member advisory board, which you guys have a representation on that as well. We do our kind of golf outing. We do our county bus tour that we've done every year, which again helps stakeholders like county commissioners and others to make sure that they're not getting blinded and lost only in Sioux Falls, that they're thinking all of our communities. So we do a growth summit in September. We did one that was focused on housing, the 2-day conference, kind of a deep dive on the subject matter. So we'll have that again this upcoming year. Topic TBD. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But I will pause there and just see if there's any questions you guys have. Again, just wanted to stop by and say hi, put faces to names, and to share a little bit about what we're doing and kind of what my vision is going forward with SMGA.
Thanks, Tyler. I'll start and then I'll turn it loose to you guys. One of the reasons I wanted to have you come out, big thing we're looking at in our community, budgets are tight for everybody. I mean, we need to know that every dollar that we're spending is getting us some return. That's the main reason I wanted you to come out, just to let us know or assure us basically that we're getting that return.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
Yep.
We have our own economic development director, as you know, which I think changes our relationship with you guys some, because you have your economic development specialist if that whole deal is going to continue. But we want you, as you mentioned, we want you to be able to be that liaison, get our name, get the information to us and get our name out there.
Yeah.
When there's projects available. All right, questions? Boy, they're gonna be easy.
Well, and I want to I didn't include in there, but I'll make sure that you guys have my contact information too, my cell phone, email, any questions or any ideas that you guys have, don't hesitate to throw it out and ask. I mean, it's all of the above, and my thing is that if you guys have a question, I want to get you an answer in this space, and if I don't have it, the beauty of our organization is all the different partners that we have in utilities and developers and financial institutions and state, federal, and local partners, everybody in between. That's why I went to this job, is because there's basically nobody that we can't work with. We get to work with everybody. Anybody cares about growth, and so whatever we can do to help land the projects that you guys want to land, help the community development, economic development side, and be that value add piece to you guys as a municipality, but also to Amy and her world, and then everything in between too. So
I've got a couple of questions, Tyler. Thanks for coming here tonight.
Yeah.
And I know you're new, so I'm gonna so if you don't have these answers, that's okay. So what context, so there's a GOED, right? And the GOED gives projects to communities. How does that structure work? Because, for example, Amy gets projects directly from the GOED. Then I know that there's been times in the past, because I used to be on the HADF, I know there was times in the past where projects would come strictly to Sioux Metro Growth, and then Sioux Metro Growth was kind of, in charge of dispersing those. So what's your guys' relationship with the GOED, or what's the, kind of explain that structure to me, I guess. I know it's an open-ended question, but.
there's a lot of different sizes and scopes of projects when they're looking at whether it's site selectors or consultants or smaller businesses that are looking, whether they're from external outside of South Dakota already or in South Dakota looking to relocate. Sometimes obviously there's retention and expansion opportunities and funding aspects that people can look at if they're looking to grow their business. But sometimes people will start those conversations with GOED. Sometimes those conversations will go directly to Sioux Falls Development Foundation if they, for some reason, got connected or they've heard about the industrial park or looking at that. But there's sometimes too that through those partners and relationships, we'll get referrals or we'll make referrals. It's kind of being a middleman and trying to find the right fit. And what's nice about South Dakota with our diverse industry and our different sites and communities and everything in between, we can now be a little picky. Our communities get to be picky about what they want. We're not just trying to land anything and it's going to be 500 jobs, yay, great. Well, we got to make sure that do we have the space, do we have the infrastructure, do we have the people to be able to handle that, or is it something that we even want in the community? I'll give you one example. Just in my first 2 months here, there was an outside company that was looking to, they want to come to South Dakota. They see us as a business-friendly state, good people, good quality of life, good cost of living, good place to do business. Sioux Falls didn't have a site that was even close to kind of what they were looking for, but they wanted to be within the MSA. They wanted to be within 30 miles, 30 minutes of Sioux Falls. And so that opens the door, and we're the ultimate partner with that. We're Minnehaha, Lincoln, Term, and Cook, 16 municipalities now. And so we're able to then kind of analyze and do a conversation with them and kind of become that secondary consultant and help narrow down and do that RFI and then send it out to communities. We can also, if GOED sends out those RFIs to communities and they want to reply, we can also, there's strength in regionalization and strength in efficiency, where we can work with whoever, utility folks, to help zero in on the needs and analyze a project, and is this feasible or not, are these numbers right or not? And that's where we can be kind of a sidekick to Amy as she's analyzing some of that stuff for you guys too. I don't know if that totally answers your question, but
Yeah,
there's.
he does give me a good idea, and then, you know, like with our community, obviously having, you know, a full-time person in economic development, an HADF board, what does it look like for the city side to partner with SMGA? Like, what does that look like, and what do you guys specifically do? Right, I mean, I guess that would be my question. So we have an HADF, you know, volunteer, 8-9 volunteer members, full-time economic development director. Kind of articulate to me specifically what that looks like if the city partners with you, not necessarily the HADF, but the city.
Yep, and so I wanna keep in mind too that we have members, which are our municipalities or county memberships. And then if they have a chamber or an economic development board, which not every community does, they get kind of free membership, free partner status with us through the city's municipality membership. Some communities have what you guys have probably heard, enhanced membership with us. Currently, that's Harrisburg, Del Rapids, Salem, Lenox, Worthing, and that's where they pay on top of their membership and over and above, and sometimes that's contracted directly through their development board, to where they're paying SNGA for a service for economic development activity, for us to be the economic development entity, administrative support, all that kind of stuff. So that's been going on for a couple years now. So on the municipality side, and you gotta think about our 16-member municipalities, they're all different sizes, some of them have different aspects, they're in different parts of growth. Some of them are totally happy where they are, some of them are really aggressive about their growth, some of them have the right people that are dedicated staff that are working on economic development that partner with us. And so we get to meet them where they are, which is really unique too. And that's what I'm doing with this enhanced member model is, and even those that don't have the enhanced membership piece, is meeting the communities where they are. You tell us what you need help with, and let us see how we can help you do that. And that's kind of included in your membership. Now, if it's we don't wanna hire somebody full-time, I'll give you an example. I mean, Del Rapids has made the investment with SMG on top of their longstanding membership to do an enhanced membership. So they pay for a part-time economic development arm through us, and we've helped them navigate that piece, and it's been so successful. Some of these communities need to take that risk and take that chance without doing a full-time deal to see if they're gonna get that ROI. Are they landing some of these federal and state grants? Are they moving the needle on these projects? Are they getting the attention that they want? Del Rapids now is looking at going full-time on that. And so, being able to meet the communities where they are on that. The other aspect is some of those monthly meetings and getting the power that we have too, being a resource partner, is getting all these different folks, different perspectives, different industries, different titles and roles and that kind of thing in the room together, and making sure that they have a valuable meeting to where they can brainstorm and go away. I was nervous for my first mayor's roundtable of how it was gonna be, right? I'm like, somebody had described it as, you know, how are you gonna be able to play favorites? I'm like, oh geez, I don't know. I got 2 kids and I love them both, you know, and it's, so how does this work? And it was really, really good. I don't wanna say the inside baseball, because we don't let any outsiders in our mayor's roundtable, but it was really refreshing for me to see the mayors. It was competitive rivalry, it was a little bit of teasing, but it was a lot of, they know that if we can't land it, you land it, that's good for us as a region. And there's ways that we can work together while still keeping our own identity as a community intact. And so having those opportunities, those roundtables, those partner organizations, I'm looking to expand that. I wanna do the same thing get a CFOs, a city finance officer roundtable, but maybe a city planning roundtable, to get more of those people those opportunities. It doesn't take much other than organization, which is what we can do. Long-winded, kind of all over the place.
All right.
That's good.
No other questions, we should keep moving on. Anybody else got anything else? All right?
Reach out anytime. I mean that, so thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Tyler, for coming out.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move down to hearings, applications, agreements, resolutions, ordinances. First one up is resolution 2023-24. This is to add an assessment on the roll for $1,629.54. Anything you wanna add, Teresa? Keep it short, I know you're coughing, so.
It's my report, but basically, we had to go in and abate a property, the Baker property on Main, so this is the cost of that abatement, the man hours, there's just one attorney fee and one officer. Obviously, we couldn't get our money up front with them, so we file it with the county and it goes a lien against the property, so this files it with the county, so if the property ever changes hands or gets refinanced, it's repaid to the city.
Alright,
Make the motion to approve resolution 2023-2024.
Second.
any other discussion? No, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right, the next one up is 2023-25, transfer from general funds to Month 6th Street project. Some of this we're doing to get some money into the right project bucket, basically.
Right. This resolution and the next one, basically in the city's 2023 budget, we have for the general fund to transfer out about $172,000 from the general, transfer cash out. Part of it will go with this resolution into the 6th and Munn Street project, and part of it will go into the 12th and Oak Street project. And that was in our budgets, just transferring the money out of the general into these funds for costs. Now, the 6th and Munn Street, we've got all our invoices paid, so this will clear that out. The 12th and Oaks, we've only paid one bill out of that so far. The balance of it cash will stay in that fund for future engineering costs and professional services.
All right, any motions, actions from the council?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-25.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
As Teresa said, the next one up is 2023-26, is on the 12th and Oaks. And this is another one that,
Motion to approve resolution.
I'll shut up.
2023-26.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz. Bowen.
Yes.
All right. Resolution 2023-27.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-27.
Okay.
I want to get out of here. Getting sicker by the second.
Any discussion? Did we get a second too?
I didn't hear anybody.
Yeah.
Jazz, second, yeah.
No discussion, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Jazz. Keel.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
You guys gonna be all right over there? We need cough drops or anything? or-
Got them all. Thanks.
All right, we'll move down to reports. First one is the area fire and rescue. As we know, the fire chief comes once a quarter. His report is in the packet. If the calls have leveled a little bit. Next up is Chamber and Economic Development Report, Amy Farr.
Thank you. I will try to be short. Most of my information is in the packet. I know. I'm excited to say last night at the chamber meeting, they invited the new members, which were Travis Sandel with Get Me Go, Robbie Berry with Black Tie Components, and Matthew Colwell with Miller Funeral Home as new members for 3-year terms. And then they also did a vote to bring on Dr. Emily Kiefer with Nurture Family Chiropractic for a 3-year term as well. So we've added them and they're excited to be on the board. I know I have in here the annual banquet says more to come and we have a location. That location will be discussed on Thursday morning. The time frame isn't gonna work for us, so we're gonna re-look at that and look at that and see what other items might be available for that. Otherwise, we had a really nice ribbon cutting at the Hartford Senior Citizens last week, I believe it was. And it was a very nice turnout. Getting ready for the Burger Ballot this afternoon, I delivered all of our direct mailers to the mailbox, so everyone should be getting one in the mail shortly. We have 6 contenders this year. We have the Hartford Steak Co. Tavern, we have Dairy Queen, the Goat Bar and Grill, Main Street Humboldt Bar, Big J's Roadhouse, and the Dugout. So look for that to be in your mailbox.
Cool, I can see Dairy Queen getting involved in that, it's a little louder than normal, I think.
They're gonna have to
Yes.
switch up the burger just a tad.
They have the Backyard Bacon Ranch Signature Stack Burger.
Ooh.
So, that's just a teaser, I'm not gonna get the rest of the burgers until
Okay.
you get your mailers, sorry.
We'll talk about it later.
All right,
Blizzard in on it too.
What was that?
This will have a blizzard too. over
Yeah.
it.
Yes, you might as well. On the economic development side, things are going, as usual, I guess. Just today, I believe we received, or in the last 2 days, we've received 2 to 3 RFIs. One is definitely not for us, it's for the Black Hills region, and 2 of them we'll discuss at the HADF meeting tomorrow, and talk about those projects and see if it's something that we can move forward with. Other than that, keeping reminders up to date, reaching out to landowners to talk about their land and how they want it to be used later on, once they decide, once the children decide they want to farm it and whatnot. So otherwise, my information is in there. And then I just have a request to attend the governor's pre-state of the state update for one evening in here in January 8th.
and this would include your hotel room and travel expenses to get there and back, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get an invite.
I did ask about that. I asked Tyler if he knew about it, and he said it was something that Jesse Bonkert had worked on, and he was to compile a list of names to invite for economic development individuals. And so there's several economic development individuals that have been invited to this. It's something brand new.
Okay. All right, do we have any question from the council on that request?
Make a motion to approve the request to attend the governor's pre-stated state update.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wassau.
Yes.
All right, anything else, Amy?
No, not unless anyone has questions for me.
Any questions for Amy? All right, thank you. Hearing none, we'll move forward. City engineer, Michael, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, general news, we've got the slurry seal plans for next year submitted to the city of Sioux Falls. Craig and his crews reviewed that, looked good, so that's that out. We'll be bid in the spring with the other cities. And then project updates, once again, it's just the water resource recovery facility. Fireworks actually be blazing through the forest main, they'll have that done later this week, and then we'll get started on the gravity main from the lift station to Nicholson. Ideally before winter sets in, but we will not be opening or cutting through Nicholson this winter just because there will be unable to patch back through it due to the temperatures. Also almost done backfilling the lift station. Once that is complete, crews will go back and start working on the aeronaut walls and continue the projects there. And based on some preliminary indications from Rice Lake, sounds like it might slow down a little bit over Christmas as you kind of expect for the holidays. But have been told that they will keep the site tightly walled in their absence. Otherwise, I mean, the temperatures have really been helping.
Holy smoke, yeah.
They keep pushing to cut through Nicholson this year, and we have to tell them no, because we don't want that to be closed to gravel for longer than it has to be. So, that is it for my report. If there are any questions, happy to answer them.
Yeah, they've really been booking out there on Highway 38. Holy smokes. That's awesome. Any questions for Michael?
Starting dark and finishing dark.
It's pretty easy to do because it's like 8 till 4. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Maintenance report, Public Works Superintendent Craig.
Just a couple of things different in my report. We have started on the storybook walk, getting that ready. We're start putting posts in tomorrow. We'll hopefully have it done either end of this week or first part of next week. We'll get the rest of them set. And the transit bus did sell today for $6,100.
Wow, awesome. And what percentage do we pay
We paid no fees,
to Purple Wave?
nothing. Government's not paying anything, so
Wow.
they get their money from the buyer, so he pays 10%, so they actually paid
Oh, they
60
pay
something.
that.
Fire premium.
Yeah, I agree.
So that went really well, so.
Wow.
Awesome.
And then I was just gonna, on these handouts I threw out there, one of them says option, one says plan original, whatever on it. So this whole project started probably about 4 or 5 years ago. We were looking at possibly, this is before Maple Pass ever started in this project, when we were talking about this on the CIP. We were talking about bringing that loop down Railroad up to Highway 38. We were hoping to go right down Highway 38 ditch and tie it into Mickelson to make that loop out there for, Aspen's Turtle Creek addition out there, 'cause that would, otherwise there's only one line that feeds that whole area. So that's why this whole thing started. Well, then we found out that when Maple Pass was, our Windsor group decided to start doing their stuff, and Maple Pass got started. Talked to DOT a little bit, you can have both. Talked to DOT and they said, we're not gonna let you come down our right of way. We don't want any more stuff in our right of way, so you have to find a different path. So what happened is Windsor Group ended up buying that, and we actually had land to go across. Well, then so we kind of changed the layout of which phase is gonna be first. So we decided that we were gonna run this up and get it brought up, go from Second Colton Road down to Vandemark on Railroad, because first, from Vandemark to the sewer plant's only 4-inch water main. So we're gonna replace all that and go to 8-inch and get that all upsized to make that loop out there. So that would be a feed for Windsor's development out there plus Maple Pass. Well, then after all this ordeal last few months with the township and that, I got to thinking about this the other day. I thought, why don't we just get our water main across Highway 38? Because Windsor Group doesn't really have a plan yet, and it's best to put the water main in the street instead of what we're looking at doing is get an easement from Windsor Group and put it in the backyards. So that means we'd have to have a 20-foot easement probably on private property in their backyards where they're not gonna be able to do much with it. So I thought, why don't we just get across Highway 38 and have it ready for Windsor Group? That way, when they come forward with their plans, they know where the roads are gonna be, they can get the water mains in the proper place. And then from there, we can bring it up to Maple Pass, and we still got our loop, and it's all taken care of. And then in the future, Windsor Group will take it north across the road to their other development, and don't even use the Colton Road and Second Street as another loop. We can go up to Sagehorn, it's already, it's in the ditch at Sagehorn, just capped, dead end right now, with a valve on it. So they could, maybe eventually we could tie in there, or if that land to the further north there would annex in, we have a rural water line on this side, on the east side of the highway already. So once that other land gets annexed in, we'll have a loop going underneath the Colton Road then. We'll have another line, so I think we can get by and have a lot better looping system. We're still getting done what we wanna get done, but we don't have to bore the township road, we don't have to bore the county's road. We'll save ourselves probably over $200,000 on this project, just eliminating that portion of it out of there. So I talked to Justin a little bit this morning on it. He said, well, we kinda had a promise with the Windsor Group about the easements and that. I said, we can still work with them. We just wanna find out what their plans are at so we can get the water in the right spot the first time instead of having it in a backyard, which you're not gonna really want. That line in the backyard, it could feed those houses, but you're bringing your service line into backyards. And then you're still gonna have to put a main somewhere else to feed the next side of the road. So I mean, you're basically gonna have doubled up water mains going through a development that one could be eliminated. So, just some thoughts I had with it. Like I said, if we get it across the highway, that's where we wanna be with it. We'll have water for the dog park that way. We'll have that loop over there to the developers, so when they take off, they'll have water available for them. And that's kind of what the goal with this was to get that loop to finish up that, which the developer will be finishing up then for us, was they develop. So, just I wanna throw that out there to you guys and see what your thoughts were of that, so.
So then, basically, that takes the water discussion or cutting that road portion out of the out of the
We
discussion.
don't have to bore the township road, and we don't have to bore the county. The county is fine with it. I talked to Steve Drone last week about it, about doing a diagonal bore so we can eliminate the township. And he basically said that they don't wanna have a diagonal bore, it just gets to be too long of a bore underneath the road, so they said no. So that's when I got thinking, what other options do we have, what ways can we get everything accomplished that we wanna get accomplished, and not be spending a lot of money doing it.
I like that. Thinking through this, so off the Sagehorn, eventually, maybe 5 years down the road,
Yep,
this will get, Windsor Group will develop, that water line will have to run north eventually, right? So when you get up here, how does it get connected over to Sagehorn in the future?
so what it'd be is, you'd continue north right through the Windsor Group,
Yep,
cross Second Street there, cause we'd be able to dig across that, because we have land on both sides, according to the way the
yep.
attorney says.
So you'd be able to dig
But
across Second
You'd
Street,
have
that
to-
gravel road
yeah,
there.
There's another portion north of Windsor Group that would have to get annexed in order for us to
Oh,
do
okay,
this.
so that whole section isn't annexed
No.
in yet.
No,
The
north-
Sagehorn loops around to the Colton Road.
Oh, yeah, it does,
Right.
okay.
And that's what you're talking,
Yep.
right? The farthest north part of the Sagehorn.
Yep, the
Oh,
far north
okay.
entrance out to Colton Road, yep. And then if you get up to 9th Street and, Colton Road, that's where we have that rural water line that is designated for ours. And that's an 8-inch line, and that's already on the east side. It's in the northeast corner there where it cuts underneath of Colton Road and comes back down Park, or down 2nd Street, or 9th Street, excuse me. So I think we can get accomplished what we need to do. We can get the engineers to get this thing developed, we can get it to the state, get approval, and we can move ahead, and get done what we wanna get done without having to fight and spend 200 plus
Yeah.
money that we don't need to spend to get accomplished what we wanna get accomplished at this time. So, I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts with that, so, if, we can start kind of finishing up the designs, get moving ahead with the project, so.
So you're coming down railroad regardless at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah, we were kind of waiting with that because we know the sewer's getting put in there. So we wanna get the sewer in first because the water's gonna be way above it. And if you put the water in, then you're gonna have areas where we're gonna end up having to shore and hold that water main in to keep from collapsing into the trench. So you always wanna put your deeper utilities in first if possible. So we're hoping to get the way Siteworks is going, we'll have the sewer in, and we're hoping maybe Siteworks will get the bid on since they're already here, we can save some money that way too. So that's why this project is getting bid, we're hoping to get a bid anyway this spring. And then, have a deadline of later this fall with it or something like that, so that we can get the sewer in first and then get the water in on top of it, so.
Okay.
Seems to make sense to me.
Yep.
Does.
Nice job.
So I will be working with these guys, and
Yeah.
we'll get the plans redesigned a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot of difference to it, but, and we'll work with the Windsor Group and let them know that, so we keep a good relationship with them on this
Yep.
project too. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
that's all I have, so,
Yeah.
if you guys have questions for me?
Anybody got any questions for Craig? Gonna make the snow budget, we're not gonna, doesn't look like we're gonna have snow before the end of the year.
I'm okay with that. I have not had one complaint on snow removal so far this fall.
Yeah, that's good, that's
No mailboxes, no nothing.
good. All right. Let's move on to Karen's report.
My report's in the packet. I don't really have anything to add. I do have one action item. Teresa included a report on it. We have a CD with Reliabank that has come up for renewal. This is the customer deposits we collect on water accounts are held and put into a separate account, kind of kept separate from our general fund because we can't spend those monies. So many years ago, it was decided to put some of that money in a CD to gain higher interest. We've accumulated, as Hartford has grown, more water accounts, a higher amount in there. So we are suggesting moving 70,000 into the CD, because right now it's up for renewal and it's almost at 28,000. we have like 107,000 in that account right now, so. So I reached out to all the local banks to see the interest rates, and Reliabank is the most competitive right now, and that's where the CD is currently at, so. To move it to the higher interest rate account, gotta close this one out, take those funds, if we wanna add more funds to it, you know, I'll cut a check for those and establish a new CD, so. Or we could go with an entirely different bank, if you would so choose, so.
5.2 is like the high end, right?
Is there enough liquidity there to, you know, to handle any unforeseen events?
Yeah, that money just sits there, and we do write checks. I mean, when people move in, move out, you know, there's constant checks flowing, but we always keep their deposits until, you know, they move out, but people move in, so it's
Sure.
just, it's always keeps
Kinda
a
sits there and
balance. If
grows.
anything, it grows because more people are moving in, more houses are being built, so.
So what do we do with the interest? We can't do anything with that, it just sits in the account.
Yeah,
the
it just
deposit account.
builds in the account.
Can never take it out.
It's restricted account, so.
If you have an account, it's liquid, to the point where it has enough in there to pay out any deposit or any withdrawals for disconnects, right? You're paying for,
People
you get
move.
their deposit.
Right.
I close my water account, I get my
Yep.
deposit back.
Right.
So it's got all of that plus some,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the plus some we can't touch.
No, it's the deposits we can't touch.
Right, but that's
We have a
what,
whole separate, account line for the interest.
That's what I was asking.
That's what,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood,
Yeah.
didn't you? Yeah, we
I
can't
mean-
touch the deposits,
Right.
because that's restricted,
Right.
people put down, we gotta pay that back
Yeah,
out to.
right.
But yeah, the interest is a separate line item
Right.
that we keep track of that is in our water fund. So it's part of our water fund, revenue in our water fund.
so we put 70,000 in there to be,
So you can move,
whatever that
You
is,
move it.
5%, 3,500, 3,500
Yeah,
bucks,
you
put
right?
interest money to the pool,
Scrape that
right?
account.
Keep it enough.
No, it's gotta stay in the water fund.
Oh. Dang it,
Where's
Craig.
water, isn't
I
it?
think that's Craig's deal.
We're gonna use water.
Yeah. All right,
Got it.
Yeah, the interest just stays in our water
Yeah,
fund.
yeah, okay.
all right, we got any action from the council on this?
Approve CD for direct customer deposit funds in the amount of 70,000 to Reliabank.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Loslawler.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yeah.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, Karen, anything else?
No, that was it.
All right, thank you. Teresa,
Um,
only tell us stuff that you
Okay.
have to, because we don't want you coughing.
I'm gonna just touch on three things. Number one, the transit bus.
Yeah,
And put information in there. I got a call from Rox, who managed it, last Thursday, I believe it was. They have, you know, our plan was, we knew our bus didn't pass DOT, so that's why we're surplusing it. We were gonna apply for a grant this year, and then usually it's a year process, and then we'll probably get a new bus in 2025. Well, they applied for a grant for another city for basically an extended van, a 7-passenger capability one. And that city is not gonna take that anymore, they're not doing a transit. So they've already applied for a grant and have a new vehicle on hand and are offering it to us if we want to go ahead and move forward sooner. And what it looks like is it is it's a 7-passenger, all in all. It's like a longer van, higher ceilings, it has 2 wheelchair capabilities and then 5 seats you could sit on. It's brand new, it's about 111,000, our share would be about 22,000, a little over that, because it's an 80/20, they would have to pay. Right now, excuse me. Right now, our ridership, basically any trip, we get about 2 to 3, maybe sometimes 4 people. So they think we definitely can grow with this one still. It'll satisfy our needs, they figure, for the next few years. If it comes to a point where it doesn't, I mean, we can always apply again for another grant and go down that road. But it will satisfy it. I guess at this point, we don't have to do anything till March, but I wanted to throw it out there, get you guys thinking about, see if it's something we're interested in it. Of course, we didn't budget for it, but, you know, we just have to.
Well, we just got 6,000.
Right,
Yeah,
So we're down to
and that,
12.
16, yeah, we're done.
that goes towards it as long as that's not moving forward, so.
Right,
Um,
That seems pretty cheap.
so we don't need a discussion, yet. We don't need to vote on
I
this
didn't
yet.
put it on the agenda,
Okay.
if you don't need any action, I want you to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
If it's something you're interested in, I'll put it on the next agenda, that way you guys can have some discussion, thoughts on it and whatnot, but, so just think about that, I'll put it on the next agenda.
Brand new vehicle, that
It's
lasts us
brand
for
new.
a long time.
Yes, kind of some good points about this is that it's, since it isn't a bus, it will be easier for the drivers to maneuver and drive as well. So, right now,
Those
we've
drivers
got-
need a chauffeur endorsement or anything? Do they need a special endorsement?
No, that's just it, that there's no special endorsements
Excellent.
needed with this,
Okay.
so, so they can do that, so.
Sounds good, there you go.
Wow.
You can drive.
Not a passenger.
Hey, you're giving me a ride, all right. Okay, what else?
The other thing, I'm gonna talk about our IT services. I got a call also last week that our current IT is Sioux Falls Networks. They're gonna be dissolving, so, the main guy that works with us, Monty Jenkins, is, taking a position with Harrisburg. They're getting a full-time IT person, so they're hiring him away and they're gonna dissolve the business. So, we need to look for new IT services. Monty suggested, we contract with A&B Business, that's why Barney kind of brought it up. We have, these are printers through them, so they do all our printers right now. He says it would be an easy transition to go with somebody like that. So I did ask them for a proposal, but, thinking maybe we should probably go out and get some other proposals. Should I put an RFP out for IT services? That's what we did when we first got Sioux Falls Networks on board, so, if everybody's on board with that,
Yeah.
I'll throw a proposal out this next week here, so we can start getting some quotes and then we can look it over. They're gonna be, it sounded like, they'll still be servicing through mid-February, and then Monty did say if something, we don't have something in place, he'll continue to help.
Yeah, and then
Make
we'll
the
get a bill from
transition.
Harrisburg.
Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and get some, put an RFP out there, and we can talk that in a future agenda too. And then the last thing I wanna bring up, is the surplus dirt. I have a contractor who called and saw our big dirt pile out there, and was wondering if we wanted to get rid of any of our dirt. Did talk with ISG, they kinda did some quick calculations. The last thing I wanna do is short the city, cause we have future projects coming up with Western and whatnot, and, they did some calculations and thought we probably could have some extra, but how comfortable do we feel with selling some off and then maybe possibly getting in a bind? Like I said, the last thing I wanna do is, I guess I would rather, on the front end, get all our projects
Yep.
done and then see what we got left, and then we can surplus it and put it out there. Every contractor's always gonna be looking for dirt if we got excess. We too got a lagoons we're gonna need to, at some point remediate, so, I did tell the contractor I'd bring it up and see if we're interested in selling anything or not, so.
No, I didn't say no.
No,
Thank them for their inquiry, but right now, no.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I wanted to.
Yep.
Any other questions about my report?
Anything else for Teresa? Not, we'll move on. First up under new business is review approve billboard lease for 1/3 of east facing billboard number 5. And the diagram you had on your table is from, Unity Road / Smoke Shop. That is what they're gonna put on that 1/3.
Right.
When did we start, at least not 1/3?
That one's been sectioned off like that for years. I don't know when it originally, it's been that way, I think, since I've been here. It's steakhouse has had it for a while, for 2/3, and then I think the racetrack was on the 1/3, because it's even painted up there still, it looked, before we even did vinyl.
And at the present rates, this would generate us, 960 a year for the next 3 years.
What's next year, Greg, can be, Teresa?
Well, we're gonna talk about that.
Well, we'll talk about that and see what changes you wanna make, but this would be at a he had called me a few months ago, he got on a list, I kind of keep a list of people who are interested, and he got on the list, and there was a quote, I had given him our current rates, and I had been working with Ace, they were before him, and they ultimately decided not to go with Billboard, so he was next on the list, and I asked if they was interested, and they are.
I've got a question, and I know I was emailing you back and forth, maybe some more question for Amy. Does the chamber send out, like, when we do have a potential opening on a billboard, are we letting our local is there,
We haven't in the past.
okay. I think that would
When
be a
it
good,
first started.
yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Jesse did,
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
That's
ask,
where I got my
yeah, so
list, I got.
otherwise, I mean, we haven't necessarily had any openings lately.
I would say we haven't really
So-
had any openings coming into Hartford,
Yeah.
westbound.
Yeah.
It's always the-
Oh, yeah.
This is the first one in a while.
Yeah.
We were always having the eastbound ones open and hard to rent.
Yeah.
It's needed, we still can.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, of how businesses are aware of that, or especially chamber members, or,
All right, we got any action on that first, on that billboard?
Make a motion to approve the billboard lease between Unity Road and the city of Hartford.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Not, we'll vote. Bowen,
yes.
Jazz,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Brennan,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right. Next up, review approve the 2022 audit. It seems like we're a ways behind, but maybe that's normal.
No, I think this is later than normal. Usually it's, they come in May and do it, and usually we get it in the fall. I don't know why they're so far behind this year.
It's been long process this year.
But overall, our audit was good. They give us one, what do we call it, a complaint? What is the thing that they tell us we don't have enough?
Segregation of duties.
Segregation of duties.
We're so
So
small.
what's an example of that, though?
So we're,
Like, what is that, I mean, I know what that means, but specifically,
so like bigger communities, like somebody doing strictly, receiving, doing accounts receivable, somebody's strictly doing accounts payable, somebody's doing strictly
Yeah.
accounts payable, somebody else is reconciling all the bank account. I mean, it's, larger municipalities can do this. Every small municipality like us, we just don't have enough staff to
Yeah.
have that all spread out. It's taking the deposits, so, we get it every year, and we'll tell you, every municipality our size gets that. It's just because we don't have the staff. We just need to be conscious of it. We do have some procedures put in place, Karen always checks, when Wanda brings in her deposit, Karen double checks that. She does accounts payable and receivable, but I reconcile all the bank accounts, so we have to double check there, so. Quarters come in, we have 2 people checking it, 2 people checking the cash. We put in as many procedures as we can, just to make sure we have, not just one person doing one thing, we always have a second person double checking it.
Make a motion to approve the 2022 audit.
Yep.
Is that okay, Mayor?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, Brennan,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Wasslager,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Jazz,
Yes.
Bowen.
yes.
All right, next up is to review, approve our 2024 fire protection service agreement. This is our money we give to the fire department to pay the mortgage or the loan on the new building. $80,000 a year.
For how many years again? I don't remember.
I always ask that. Do we know, Karen? Is it like we have Do we have 10 years left? 9 or 10?
It was a 30-year loan, correct? And we did that in what year? We built it.
That was before I
We have
started.
quite a ways to go yet.
Yeah.
Maybe more than 10. Yeah, we might have 20.
Yeah, we might have.
I can look it up.
No,
Let you know.
I mean, I know it's a number of years. We're not to the last payment, I know that.
Make a motion to approve the 2024 fire protection service agreement.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Bowen,
Yes.
Jazz, Keel,
Yes.
Brenneman,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Wasslerger.
Yes.
All right. Next up under new business, we're gonna review the current billboard rates charged by the city. Jake, you'd asked about this. This is the recommendation. Teresa did some work on this. It's all in the packet. We know that we're pretty reasonably priced for our billboards, but we also know that we need to be aware to not make it so high that they're sitting empty or, you know, fine line.
So this discussion is for renewals in future.
Right, so if we put this in effect, if we make any changes or, you know, when the motion goes in effect, these will be the new rates. If somebody comes up for renewal, it'll be at the new rates.
Right, so right now, we're charging 80, 130, 160, 200, and you're proposing 100, 150, 200, 300.
Yeah, I know when I first started with the city, that, well, the most popular billboards are those coming into the city with the Hartford businesses, you know, going westbound. And
Yeah.
it was really hard to rent the ones going to Sioux Falls. That's when we kind of made a rate change in 2018 to make it those going to Sioux Falls just 150. They gotta rent the full billboard, because those used to be divided up in sections as well. But in 2018, the council at that time, because we weren't getting anybody to rent them, changed that. Now we do have them full, so I think we can start, you know, charging
Portion them
definitely for
off.
that. Like I said, when I started with the city, I know, council thought at that time was, definitely wanted to make reasonable for the Hartford businesses, you know, it's to help out our Hartford businesses, so I didn't wanna increase it too out of line, but these rates have been in place, like the ones coming into 2006, they've been here a long time, and we are definitely below the market rate, as you can see on my report.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think,
still
and I,
would be.
Yeah.
we also don't wanna, cause I think there's a fine balance there, yeah, we also don't wanna be losing out as well at the same time. We also don't wanna be, you know, yeah, charging too much for people who aren't using it, but we also have to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars and generating what we can within reason. So there's definitely a middle line to balance there.
Yeah.
And so, in the red there, just explain that to me, I'm looking at the red numbers, are those, so like the west face, so is that $100 per month? Or is that $100?
These are per month rates, yes.
And the
these are all
red
per month.
is a proposal increase, is that, am I reading this correctly or not?
That would be the new rate going forward.
Like in red,
Okay.
those are the
The old
proposed.
rates above it.
Ah,
Yes,
got it.
other ones are, yeah. So like for a full billboard, an east face one, right now, we're charging 200 to just 300. You know, maybe little increments would be more palatable to, or, I mean, or it could be anything you want, and then,
Craig, is there one electric meter serving all of those?
Yes,
Yeah, I think
we'll get one bill.
one bill.
So that's a minimum of what, $50 a month, just for the electric bill? Or what's our
Oh, it's-
electric bill?
It's 200 and
It's
something.
200 some dollars a month for the electric, okay?
You wanna see it? It's right here.
So we,
Take your word for it. I'm just looking at our overhead, so that's fixed, that's a fixed overhead, not really, it's variable, obviously it's gonna go you know, it's gonna be higher this month than it will be
Yeah,
in
it
July.
fluctuates.
Right, because it's on to dust, so it's higher.
And then we just
Divided by
spent some
the
money
six.
replacing some plywood and keeping those updated and, you know, been maintenance for photo eyes and lights and everything over the years.
Yeah, we'll be, next year we'll be doing some more, you know, cause they're all pretty old, and their boards are rotting away, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost like doing it for nothing. I mean, like, you wanna talk about being a good steward, like,
Right,
we're giving this away.
yeah.
Oh, we were. Well, we're still, even at these proposed rates, I mean, if a person really put a pencil to it, I think you're probably breaking even.
Yeah, I'd like to see them be higher. I also don't wanna, like, jerk the rug either.
Yeah.
I think this is a good proposal and we can revisit it again next, I mean, we have the opportunity to look at it every year, we've gotta set it every year, right?
And we haven't had an increase since 2006. It's not like we've been,
On the east faces.
right, it's
All the
not like we've
businesses
been,
have
and
increased
2018, so
prices.
really, we're,
Uh-huh.
All the businesses have increased their prices, so. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think what we're proposing here is, I don't think it's gonna make anybody not wanna keep their lease, you know what I'm saying?
I concur.
If anything, I'd go higher. I wouldn't go lower than this.
Yeah.
You'd go up on the proposed,
If anything.
right?
Yes.
So, does the city's insurance cover those billboards too, or is that a separate
They
umbrella or a separate?
have to provide us with insurance for their vinyl, yeah.
They provide insurance for the vinyl,
They
but
have
the
to
signs
provide us with-
themselves
We own.
are
Cities,
covered under our insurance policy.
Right, the structures.
It's not a
are-
special rider, it doesn't, we don't see a line item when we renew our insurance for billboards of X amount of dollars per year.
Mm-mm.
And they have to put their own billboard, their own vinyl up, and if they don't take it down, there's fees for that, too,
Yeah.
we get a deposit on that, so.
Right.
Do we have that in the contract when we do?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming all that's in the
Yeah,
contract,
it's in the
okay.
contract that they have to put a deposit, and that's for, yeah.
You got any
they don't take it
suggestions,
down,
Jay?
Any damages and provide the insurance.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve.
At where we're at right now?
I'd second that.
All right, Jake made a motion to approve the suggested, rate increase for staff. Cindy second. Any other discussion? Like we said, this is something we could look at again.
Well, once they come up for renewal, we'll know if we're too high or not. Either they
Right.
renew or they won't.
Correct, correct. That'll be our stepping point. We'll at least get them raised up one time and see how that goes, and then,
Teresa,
Yeah,
if you have-
the box it.
as a caveat, if you could have conversations with these people as you talk to them and just say, hey, just so you know, we're gonna be making some corrective actions to this over the next few years. I would like to have that be our plan, that we would go similar increases again next year. Just as.
Get 'em raised and
Yeah,
then-
that's market,
yeah.
but not.
Yeah, just let them know these are our current rates, and we review them every year.
right.
I said, I think that's a good plan, so they know that it's not.
And I think
Yeah,
storyboard,
doesn't blindside them.
yeah, I think storyboarding it, you know, with our costs that the taxpayers are paying, with the electric, with the, replacing the boards, giving some context, yeah.
All right. You know, we currently have just not an option on the east, on the west face. It's just all or nothing, 12 by 48 or
And
not.
now we're changing
But
that.
this one proposes these, we can split those up into smaller
Right.
parcels again
Right.
too, or,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do that unless we would have to, right?
that'd be my only,
But
that'd
you
be,
get into
when I look at
options,
this,
so
that's my
change.
only change, would be, let's just go to 12 by 48, $300, and,
Yeah.
because if you start parceling that out into smaller sections, again, because it's west face, eastbound traffic, it's a ways away, and as you get those smaller, they're harder to read.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at the, is it the HADF, right? I was looking at that today, and I'm like, dang it, I can't read it. And I've got good eyes, you know? I can't read what's going on there.
Okay, well, we got a motion and a second to propose as it is. Do we wanna discuss amending that to,
I would, so here's what I propose. I would like to amend my motion to approve the rate increase proposed by staff without prorating the east-facing billboards.
West face.
West face,
West,
west face.
yes, yeah, you'll see them as you're driving east. They're
West
facing
facing.
west. Thank you.
Just leave that just one price
Yep,
as it is, but go to the new price.
yep.
All right, Cindy, you wanna approve that second that amended motion?
Sure, I'll second that if I need to.
Okay? All right, so the motion is the east face to go as proposed, and the west face to not do the smaller options, just one option, 12 by 48 at $300, correct? Am I reading that right?
Yes.
Okay? Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Wasslager,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Brennan,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes,
Jazz,
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
and then for clarification, we'll review this, we review this year.
Yep, I wrote that down, we'll just review it at the end of every year and we'll take a look at it.
Sounds good.
All right, next up is review ordinance 739, our fines and fees. If you recall, last year we spent considerable time talking about these. And the staff has notated a couple in here. The biggest one being the bulk water sales going from, is it 6 to 7, is that right?
Before the metered water, so we've got the quarter machine right now, that's still gonna be at 6,
Okay,
is what we're proposing. But we do also rent out,
Oh, that's right.
we have a meter hydrant that we let people use and they put a deposit on it. Our proposal is to raise that because of the convenience of it, and then also put a monthly fee on that meter, because right now we'll get, like Total Till come in and they'll get it in the spring and they'll use it all summer long. They might not, there might be a couple weeks that they don't even use it, or months that they'll use it, and somebody else, we could be, getting money out of somebody else. So if we did this, raise that to $7, we're gonna get another $1 per thousand. Last year, Total Till they went together with the contractor on the interstate. They went through, I think it was 3 million gallons in 4 months. So we made a little over $2,000, we're at $2,000. And when I was talking to one of the contractors before on it about being kind of cheap for the convenience of it, he said, I don't see any problem raising it up, so we thought we'd raise that just for the convenience, and then put a fee on there so that somebody doesn't tie it up all summer and not use it very much, so.
charge them by the month.
That's why we brought that up. And proposed it that way.
All right,
And that bulk hydrant meter moves around to wherever it's needed, correct?
Yeah, so if somebody wants to get it, they'll put a deposit down on it. We'll find out where they're hauling to and from,
Yeah.
and then we'll pick the best convenient spot for them that's still on a nice road, major road for the trucks and stuff like that. So a lot of times it stays up on the far side, or it comes down by the sewer plant there, so.
Do you see a need in the future to buy a second one?
We are actually budgeting money for our second one, I think it was like $1,500 or $1,200.
Yeah, we put that into this coming
Yep.
year's budget.
So we are looking to get
Calls
another one.
for it.
Yep.
Sure, sounds good, okay.
all right. So do we have a motion to change that fee and in the list?
Make a motion to approve city fine and fees with staff amendments.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Just locate property bins, how often do you do that, and you think $20 covers that, your time?
Usually, we probably, might be 2 or 3 times a month, and there might be months you don't locate any. Usually I'm the one that goes over and finds them, I can pretty much got a good idea where they're at, and if there's a bunch of, pads or something there, or chain link fence, I don't spend a lot of time on it.
Sure.
Cause you can't find it, you're not gonna dig up a whole big area trying to find a pin.
Right.
So, most of the time I can get in and out of a house, probably half hour or less. Sometimes it's 10, 15 minutes and I follow them,
Right,
so.
we're still losing money then, is what you're saying?
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than what it was before, because before we didn't charge, and we'd have the same person call you up 5 times a year.
I did it twice in 1 year, and I'm like, this isn't costing, then I had it done another year, and I was like, oh, this costs money.
We need to start, we need to start.
Alright, mistake.
Alright. We got a motion and a second to approve the one notated by the council, no other discussion. If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Loslawler.
Yes.
Alright. The next, 2 items we're going to discuss in, exec. So we're gonna pass over those 2. And I'd like to jump down to my mayoral appointments for the planning and zoning. We have 3 members up. All 3 are interested in taking another term, 2-year term. They are, oh man, I didn't scroll far enough, sorry.
Miles, Anderson, Jackson.
Miles Anderson and Jackson. So I would like to propose that get a motion to approve those 3 persons for another 2-year appointment to the Planning and Zoning Committee.
I make a motion to approve the mayoral appointments to the planning and zoning board.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yep.
All right, we need 2 spots on Park and Rec Board. I'll just point that out. If you guys can come up with any names, please get them to me.
Can we send that out in the newsletter? Maybe put that out there for any interested? I was just thinking,
I don't think we put it out there.
Worst idea.
Maybe we should
Why?
put that out on our Facebook page.
yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That, yeah.
We will put it out there.
Well, we didn't even think about
They're not being certain.
the headline, pickleball, headline
Yes.
pickleball,
I'll
Yes.
possible name it out.
and then
I will do
details.
that.
All
Great
right.
marketing.
Get your position on the
Yeah,
park and
wanna
rec.
play pickleball, question mark, you know?
Yeah.
Join the park and rec board. Yeah.
All right, we need a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
For personnel.
Oh, for personnel and economic development. Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
All right, do we have any motions and actions from the council?
Make a motion to approve the hire recommendation for the chamber director, applicant number 1.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
Any other motion?
Make a motion to designate Amy Farr as full-time economic development director beginning in January of 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen. All right,
Motion to adjourn.
all
Second.
right, and a second, all in favor? Thank you.